Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Welcome to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, brought to you by Revival Recordings.
Hello, and welcome back to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, brought to you by Revival Recordings. We're here with episode 10. We're going to get into some of our usual scene updates, and we have Morgan from Emo Nite with us for our updates, and then on the second half, TJ will be joining us. So we're excited. We have our first guests that aren't in the Revival realm, so it's very exciting for us.
Wait, what is that? Wait, tell me about this. Tell me about the Revival realm.
Well, Revival Recordings.
I want to know.
Yeah, so our podcast falls under.
You've only been doing those artists.
We've talked to like coworkers and like some of our artists. This is just episode 10 that we're on. Our first couple episodes was just like us. It was just the four of us talking about like.
Yeah.
Our first episode went into like how emo we used to be and like things like that were fun.
Or like what kind of emo,
like,
and then
that was a good throwback episode.
I just edited our A&R episode we did with our VP of A&R, where it was very hard for me to just not sit here and just like talk shit. And be
Yes,
like,
have you guys been nervous to interview the people like those people? Has it been like nerve-wracking?
No, this has been nerve-wracking for me because this is the first one where I didn't know you guys beforehand. So I'm just sitting here like, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I don't know what to do. But
whenever I interview anybody, it's so much easier for me to interview somebody I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I really like I do way better with people that I don't know personally.
I think I kind of felt that on this because I felt like the other ones that we've done, we get so sidetracked. We're like, and it's fun. Like we like our podcast to be like conversational and like kind of free range, but like
informal.
This we could at least, this we could at least like get a little back on track.
Yeah.
And we like went into it knowing like, okay, like we want to make it so it's like an hour long, and we kind of knew that going into it, rather than being like, okay, we're going to talk to someone for an hour and a half and we're just going to talk about how we love assless chaps. Like it's what happens, you know, like
which we have.
DJ's really good at reeling it back in. I'm really good at reeling it back out.
I thought that sentence was going to be about assless chaps, and it wasn't.
It's always about assless chaps. Yeah,
every time.
He's the one always reeling it back out.
I'm sorry.
It came up on the last episode because Haley wasn't with us on the last episode, and we immediately we didn't even start on the track. We just took off running in the wrong direction.
Sometimes we know though, like at the very beginning, like when we're starting it, because like we like were talking before you guys came on, and we were like, okay, like we really have to try to reel this in. Like we have to go into it knowing that like we're gonna just cut it, you know?
Yeah, we're like, we don't know if Morgan and TJ have 3 hours to spend with us.
I honestly I think that's why our company works, is because we're really, really different. Like we're really two different people, but we like TJ was saying you'll find out in this episode, I legitimately forced him to be my friend. I would go into his office every day and just like stand in front of him.
That's such office culture though too. Like that's like when I'm thinking about like now, like when I had my first job and I would like go to people's cubicles and just be like, do you want to spend 20 minutes talking to me so I don't have to do anything? You know what I mean?
I just didn't want to work. Was it there? Like, I just didn't want to work, and I was like, because I worked in an office full of like metal guys, and I am also like I grew up playing in like literally progressive. My sister texted me yesterday, and she was like, "What was the name of your first band?" And I was like, Fathom. It was a progressive metal band. You know what I mean? Like embarrassing shit, and so like I was in an office full of metal guys, and so I was in charge of the Sonos, and they would always give me shit for putting on like emo songs. Like they'd always give me shit because it was just like straight up Metallica, Slayer all day, like which I like, but it's also like, oh, you know, it was like I switched it up. I would see if they would switch it up, and they would just be like, turn it fucking back. And so TJ would always pop his fucking head out and be like,
going on?
I know this song. Like, and I'd go in there. That's how we got to like know each other through like fucking the Sonos and me getting
Nice.
bitched at.
I love that because, like, obviously working in the label, we're all into the same stuff, but like our other jobs, it's always so fun to find someone else that's like when I'm working at the bar, when I first started working there, and finding like one of my good friends just now, and the first thing was like, oh, you like that music? Because it was playing at the bar, and we were both just singing as we're working, and I was like, yeah, you do? And then it was just like, oh, we're best friends now.
Well, okay. Well, this is the intro, so we do have to talk about some stuff.
Back to it.
To get back to
All
it,
right.
since I'm being blamed for not
Roll-
reeling it
roll
in, I
reversal
will
here.
reel it in.
Role reversal. E is reeling us in. Okay. So we're recording this on May 16th. So by the time it comes out, some of these topics may be a little old, but we're going to talk about them anyways. I know the first one that I thought of was Boys Like Girls is dropping new music this Friday.
Allegedly. We have to
No,
put allegedly.
They put up a post today and said the album's
That they're
coming
actually
in the
going
fall.
to drop it.
Yeah, Friday, and the album's coming this fall. So how do you feel about it?
Let me ask, when I'm trying to connect the dots of when the last time they put out music was. Was it?
I
Was there
don't
something
know.
12.
after Love Drunk? Was there something after
Yeah.
Love Drunk?
Yeah, they put out stuff in 2012. And then
Well, that's not that far after. That's like maybe.
yeah,
a
it's not
year
that long
after.
That they
I mean, that was
did.
with Taylor Swift. Like they literally went to Gillette Stadium, and I saw them outside of Gillette, and they were like, "This is our friend Taylor Swift," and we were just like, "Sorry, what?
Didn't
Who?"
they date or something? Or am I just assuming that because it's Taylor Swift?
Wait, I think they
That's a
might
good
have.
assumption.
I think they might have.
Is
Now
that
you're saying it.
that my internalized misogyny talking, or is that a fact?
No.
Morgan, do you know any of this information?
If I had to guess, I would say yeah. Like, why not? Like,
Okay.
like knowing
We're just gonna
her
put
and knowing him.
Because they wrote
they
music
did.
together. At the very least, it was a PR thing
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know much about Taylor Swift lore. I know that much though.
Look, sometimes 2 + 2 just like equals 4. Like, sometimes it's just the way it is, you know? Like,
Yes.
Perfect.
like,
Look, I've never been good at math, but
So they put, because their Boys Like Girls, like their first album came out in 2006, and then their last music was 2012. But they did.
was that
do,
Hero Heroine?
No,
That was
no,
the
it was all
2006 one.
under.
We have internet.
Yeah.
We have the internet.
Yeah, I'm looking
The
at it right
self-titled
now.
record.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
The self-titled was the one with like Hero Heroine,
and
Dance Hall
Thunder,
Drug,
and like
all the shit that like 12-year-old me.
Okay, I was thinking that they had this lengthy discography, and I am being proven very wrong right now.
Is it the same lineup that it was back in the day?
Yeah.
Did it have it?
Yeah, I think it's all
That's-
because it's still Martin and stuff. But then
Martin,
they
Martin
just
and who?
And,
Martin and who exactly?
And what's he's married to the actress that I'm thinking of in my head, Katie, whatever, and they
That does
have
not
a
help.
baby,
That
and
does
I
not
can't
help.
remember his
That
name.
really isn't
Morgan, help
helping.
me.
well, I mean, just go to the internet.
Yeah.
Oh.
True.
Like, let me see. I can do it. You guys are talking. Here, I'll
Boys
do it.
Like
Here we
Girls.
go.
Like, I'm thinking, I don't know if I just think that Boys
It
Like
is
Girls
all the
was
same
bigger.
people, though.
I don't know
But
if I
they
just
are-
thought it was bigger because it was like a hometown band for me. Like
Yeah,
I
I
knew
was gonna
people
say they're
that
a
went to
Boston
high
band.
school with them, so I'm like,
No,
did I just
they were-
think that they were bigger?
Paul.
I'm not from that area, and they were still like at least a big deal in my circle of like
Okay.
theater kid, emo kid people.
They were a radio band. Like I'm just like,
Yeah,
Katie Stein.
We don't hate on radio bands.
no. That's not what I'm
no,
saying.
I'm not saying
just-
it's bad. The term
I'm
industry
just-
plant has been
yeah.
thrown around with them, but I mean, it's not the worst thing. They're
Okay,
good.
so they put out an album in 2012, and I don't know anything off of this album, so I think it's just I have their 2006 and 2009 albums in my head,
Yeah.
and they just didn't release singles, which is interesting.
They did.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, do we care that they're putting out new music?
Yes.
I do, because I love Boys Like
okay.
Girls.
The actress's name is Katie Stevens.
Yes.
She was in The Bold Type, Faking It, Haunt, Polaroid. An episode of, oh wait, I think she's in CSI Vegas. with a
Oh,
bunch of
okay, that's
them.
what I care about. Okay.
And
Yep.
a Christmas open house, and then something called
That must be
Immortality.
must be like a Lifetime, either a Lifetime or a
Christmas
Hallmark
open
movie.
house.
It's a Hallmark movie.
Sounds like a bad
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco song.
Yeah, and then Immortality Part 1. I wonder if they ever made.
A part 2.
Part
Part
2.
2.
Probably not. No, I like her though as an actress, but yeah,
She looks
they're
really
big.
nice. I gotta say, she has a nice face. Like, she seems like she would be a nice person.
Yeah, I know.
Do you-
So like her and the guitarist Paul have been together for like ever, and I don't know if she's had the baby yet, but
They
she
are
was
with
pregnant.
child.
Yes. Yes. So
Good to know.
doing good
They
things.
are with.
Oh
they
my
are with
God.
I
child.
wonder if have they been picked up for any of these big festival lineups that have been.
They weren't on Riot. So
Shouting
Riot
these.
Fest was announced today. So May 16th, the Riot Fest was announced today. That's another one of our topics. I did not see Boys Like Girls on there.
I suppose
I
there's
didn't.
still time.
They were at When We Were Young though.
So the Postal Service is playing on that lineup,
That's what
which is
I-
amazing.
Yeah, that's.
There are a lot of bands on that lineup that I do really care about, but as I said before we started recording, I would do sick things to go to a Postal Service set.
I can guarantee you Ben Gibbard has never done a goddamn thing wrong in his life. I'll tell you that. That guy's a fucking dork.
And they're saying it's the Postal Service and Death Cab for Cutie, which is like
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
that's
doing
gonna
that
be
double duty tour.
amazing. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then The Cure is playing on Sunday.
yeah.
Like,
Well, the Cure
this
was
is-
just doing their tour too, so that makes sense.
Also, LS Dunes is playing, which
Don't even-
means
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on Ellis Dunes because I have a lot of feelings about Ellis Dunes.
I'm sorry.
No, they're not anything negative about LS Dunes. I'll explain later.
Finch is playing, Haley.
I know. I already have their sign though, so I don't need to. I don't need to see them.
Okay, well,
anymore,
she doesn't
you know?
care then.
Well, fuck
I
them.
want to talk about their social media strategy and the way that they teased it. And
Riot
announced it. I
Fest?
thought that was really
Oh
cool. Yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
also thought it was really cool.
Yes.
I like that they're just mean.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They're so mean.
so their
there's
Twitter
the
is mean.
difference. Yeah.
Their Twitter is mean, but their TikTok person, which I do appreciate the mean Twitter person. I tweeted today that they should get a raise because, God damn it, they should get a raise. But
It's so funny.
the person on TikTok, they did collaborations with a bunch of popular music TikTokers like Jer from they're commonly known as Skatoon Network / Jer /
Yeah.
from We Are the Union. They did a cover of a song that was like a subtle nod to one of the bands on the lineup. I can't remember which one it was. That TikToker that does like wedding entrances to scene bands did a hint video, and they had all these like really obscure hints. And then the Riot Fest account in particular had their TikTok person do like a day in my life cleaning my apartment and putting records away. And I remember seeing the video and thinking,
Oh, with the
wow,
records?
this person's really using this platform as their own personal account now. That's weird. And kept scrolling. And then later in the day, I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, go back.
Those
And
records.
now it makes sense. And I thought that was really cool. But I am
It is cool.
incredibly jealous of that Twitter person being able to say whatever they want on social media, because there is
I
a
am-
lot I would like to say to you people sometimes.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's like, I'm not going to Riot Fest because they were mean on Twitter, and it's literally Willy Wonka from like back in the 70s saying, "Stop, don't come back." And I'm just like,
So fucking, it's
This
seriously
is
so,
amazing.
it's so funny. It's
If
so
I could
funny.
say whatever I wanted to the people that say you're not coming to X city or 5 Texas states and no XYZ or your instructions on VIP packages were unclear.
No, they weren't.
They weren't. But if I was able to say what I wanted, I probably wouldn't.
We have
wouldn't have a
learned in this
job,
job that reading comprehension is hard. Okay.
Yes.
I really don't. I'm really bad at social media. Like, I don't like it. I barely go. I'm like barely on my phone. In fact, probably
I think that's
to a-
really respectable,
That's
actually.
healthy. That's the healthy way to live.
Yeah,
that's
that is
good.
healthy.
It might be like to a detriment sometimes, but like
Don't
I'm
know what's
very
going on.
rarely. Yeah, kind of sometimes, but I mean I feel like I do enough research for the radio show where like I know about things that I need to know about, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, what the fuck is Vanderpump Rules? You know, like,
Listen,
I had to
I'll
have
talk
honestly-
about it. We can get into it.
I had to have TJ send me like a flow chart.
My thing is that Slander, which is an EDM artist who is going to be at EDC Las Vegas, is putting out a song with Bring Me the Horizon and Black Bear, which I'm very excited about, especially with Bring Me the Horizon's new music that they're putting out. So I think it's
Yeah,
going to be
and they're
very good.
doing a lot of EDM stuff. Or I mean, Millennium just did that song too with them.
Well, I
so.
think they kind of know that that's the market right now to reach, and I think like Millennium's always been like that, and Keizo's always been like that, and Slander's always been like that. I think now more people are just open to hearing it, and maybe that's more of the appeal.
Also, Hot Mulligan put out a record. I ended up talking about it in our main segment, and said exactly what I wanted to say now, which is I couldn't finish the record because I got too sad about the song about I guess it was a dog dying.
I definitely cannot listen to that now. That
It's called Betty, and I would skip over it if you're sensitive to that kind of thing. But it's a really good record so far, and it's classic Hot Mulligan tomfoolery titles. So,
Morgan, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add to our
What's
intro
going on in the
segment?
scene?
Oh, tell us what you're excited about.
we have an actual radio host with us, so this is like
I honestly was really excited about the Riot Fest announcement.
Yeah.
I thought it was really fucking sick. Like I
thought it was good.
Really like a lot of those bands.
I
and
think the
was like,
lineup's great.
I also really like the Hot Mulligan album a lot. I think it's really, really good. What the fuck have I been playing on the radio? I feel like, oh, wait, you guys might have talked about this, but I think the Used put out like a brand new song. Or am I late on that?
Did they?
I think so.
I'm like,
I scrolled
what the
past
fuck
something
did I
today.
miss?
Yeah,
Oh my
and it's good.
gosh.
It's good. And the only reason I know is because I asked.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
No, yes, on the 21st of April. The 21st of April. How did we
How
all
did
miss
we
that?
miss that?
It's called it's called
Wait,
Numb.
Wait, I think I also may have leaked that they're putting out a new one because I think I got like an email about it. So I think they're probably putting out a new one. There probably is a new Used song out right now.
Well, they have the new album is dropping on Friday too.
There is a new Used song out.
And it's
And
good.
at this point, Sleep Token will have put out their new album too, which I'm very excited about. I think that's gonna be incredible. Yes, Morgan.
Yes, Morgan.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't understand Sleep Token.
I'm
It's not
kind
a
of with you on
question.
that one.
It's not a question. It's
I
more
don't
of a
like
statement.
I'm sorry. I know it's like controversial, but I don't understand. Can somebody?
He's
I
the
tried.
sleep token person here. So.
I know it. I know that.
I'm with Morgan on this in some I think it's good music. It's just I feel like it's like Ghost to me. There's too much lore behind it that I feel like
I don't care about the lore.
Oh,
I don't care about the lore. I think like I was saying earlier on Twitter, I was just like, I think they have some of the most amazing lyrics that are just really like deep cut. And like okay, so they have one that's like, I don't want to get it wrong, but I know that we're limited on time. They say, I'm still your favorite regret. You're still my favorite weapon. And I was just like,
Yeah, I remember that brand new album.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
I
there's an
remember
entire Alteris song called Best Mistake.
okay, so let's just like hypothetical. Okay, let's just pretend. Let's just say I think that Sleep Token kind of took Brand New's place almost. Actually,
don't jinx them.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But like, I just feel lyrically, I feel like it's very deep, and I feel like you're like, oh, and it doesn't hit you right away, and then you kind of start thinking about it, and you're like, oh no, oh, do I relate to this? Oh,
because
oh
like,
no.
I'll go on morning walks, and I've tried like there've been a couple days in a row, and maybe I'm just listening to like the top Spotify like songs.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not doing it right, but like there, because it happens. Like I might come back next week and be like, oh, E, you were fucking right. You know what I mean? Like it happens all the time. I'm like, fuck that band, and then like I'll come back and I'll be like, I really I made a mistake.
I think like with the summoning specifically, it was like a 6-minute song, and when you put 6 minutes on a song, people are like hard no. But then like you start listening to it and you get past the breakdown, and you're like, oh my god, wait, like this is kind of good. Like this is very good, and it took me a few tries to be like, am I into this? No. Yeah, I'm into this. So like I think it just takes a few times. You have to find the right songs. Like I'm not a huge fan of their entire discography, but I am just like, ooh, these few songs, repeat for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I promise I'm gonna go back, and I promise I'm gonna listen to it with an open mind.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't think they're bad, and I just haven't given them the time, but because the lore is intimidating, and I just feel like I'm behind.
I also feel like if you come from a religious background too, there's something kind of like almost sacrilegious about it too.
Oh, I don't know what about me struck you as religious, but that...
Okay, well. All right, well. Like for me, I'm just like, okay, like this guy, they're like saying like worship, like you're gonna worship this band, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, like,
I mean,
you get into the whole logistics of that, and
there's other bands who have done that exact thing that every time I see it, I'm a little not that it's sacrilegious. I just cringe a little at the like the theatrics of it all. Yeah, it's a little too far.
Yeah,
but see, I like Ghost is the thing. Like I like it. I'm not like wrapped up in it, but I'm not like wrapped up in it. But I feel like they put out a pretty solid couple albums, and so I know, and it's like the closest thing that I can compare, because like you're right, like it is.
Yeah. It's a whole story behind it. But
there's also like a Hollywood Undead element to it where like no one knows what the guy looks like, and they're like, who's behind the mask? Is it Hosier? And you're like, no.
But it would be really funny if it was.
It would be really funny if it was.
That's the biggest mistake. I should have just worn a mask.
It's just you and TJ just like in marshmallow mask now at Emo Night, and they're just like, who is that? And no one knows.
we really shit the bed.
Restart.
Anyway.
Yes.
In the next segment, we'll be joined by TJ and dive into a little bit of,
a lot of
the story
Emo Nite lore.
A lot of Emo Nite lore.
Hey guys, we are back on Yumi and the Scene with TJ and Morgan, the creators of Emo Nite LA, not to be confused with any other Emo Nite. Right?
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So we're gonna jump into some topics about Emo Nite, how you guys got us started, the community you created, how it's grown, which is insane. We were all talking about it before this.
Insane.
Just seeing the growth. I know for me, when I lived in LA, I would come. You guys were still I moved to LA like 2017. Yeah. So you guys were a couple years into it, but still not at the, expansive size it is now. So it's crazy to see going to the Echoplex and me and E were seeing you in Vegas in October. So
yeah,
crazy.
It's weird. I was thinking about the Echoplex last night. Like I was up all night thinking about how like maneuvering around the old venue that we used to.
What is that venue like?
Oh, it's terrible. It's such a shithole.
It's like
it's like a
worse than Worcester
it's a nostalgic
Palladium
shithole for me.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
It isn't actually a literal shithole though. Like we went back after COVID, and they had a sewer pipe explode. And they were like, we were just, touring it. Like we had heard rumors that this had happened during the pandemic, and we were like supposed to do a show in 3 weeks, and we walked in there and it just smelled like poop.
Did you think that people were just calling it a shithole? You're like, oh yeah, the place kind of sucks, and then you showed up and you're like, oh no,
we're like,
you
oh,
meant
this
literally
is like hazardous waste.
I was just worried that people were gonna walk in and it smelled like shit. Like, I mean, like actual shit.
I feel like we saw that on Twitter. Like, I feel like someone posted about that all happening, but there was actual sewage, like going through the pit. But maybe that wasn't. That's got to be the same place. That can't just be.
It's not at Emo Nite. I don't think there was actually a show when that whole break happened. But when we were doing a walkthrough of the venue, it just smelled like it had happened. And then we did the show, and they somehow like had it cleaned up to a point where it was like fine. But yeah, it's always smelled bad. It's always smelled really bad.
I mean, it's like a nostalgic smell for me. Like, I feel like you can I can smell something. You know, the smell is like your strongest sense, and like you can just be instantly transported back to like wherever that smell was. That is like the most distinct smell of body odor and beer, even when there's nobody in it. And I mean, there's a ton of funny stories. This is what I was thinking about last night. It's like once we got back and we were like, okay, I think we got to get out of here. It was like there was like a fucking leak in the green room, like where there was just water coming down on artists, and they were like, "This is a normal thing." And you're like, "I don't know if this is a normal thing." Like, I don't know.
It shouldn't be a normal thing.
We had a call with the venue, and we were like, "Hey, you know that the green room, like, there's just a leak. It's probably sewage based off of the past history of what's happened over the past few months. It's probably sewage." They're like, no, it's the air conditioner. Don't worry about it.
That somehow makes it like worse. Like,
and I was like, that doesn't just happen. You can't just, that's not a regular thing. They try to be like, that happens at other venues too. And I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. Like, that's all of our gear, like artists that we're bringing like world-class artists to this place. And you're telling us that it's normal for the stuff to be like ruined.
Yeah, who was it that we had that night, TJ? Because they did have instruments. There was somebody that was playing acoustic that night, and I was like, "There's shit water."
We had Pierre from Simple Plan and Derek from Mayday Parade.
Dang.
And they both had their guitars.
Yeah, and they're just like diarrhea water, just like dripping on their guitars. And they're like, no. This happens all over the place. This is a normal thing that happens to everybody.
So I'm thinking back to like when you guys first started, and I was talking to Courtney about this earlier. When you guys had Demi Lovato show up, where were you guys when that happened?
That was still at the Echoplex, so we didn't move from the Echoplex until after like 2021, December 2021. We moved from the Echoplex to the Avalon.
We did some like documentary. And I think we're in it for like a split second. I think she's done a couple documentaries, but we are in it for like a split second when she arrives. I know because I get 45 DMs from Demi Lovato fans every day asking me to send her their songs and like their last dying wish.
Okay, so can you walk us through where this idea kind of stemmed from? Like, how did you kind of get going, and kind of like where did it all start?
TJ's really good at this. He's really good at
story. Yeah, we've got the story down. All right, so 2014, Morgan and I were working together in the same office building. We were working for kind of two separate divisions of the same sort of parent company. And he kind of forced me to be his friend. I was just like trying to come in and do my work, and he would just come and like talk to me, and I was like, oh my God, okay.
I was about having fun at work, you know?
We bonded over our love of emo and pop punk, and we kind of realized there was a hole sort of in the LA nightlife scene. I think I was like 24 at the time when we started, and you know, I would go to these shows and nobody was really having fun. And if you go to a club or a bar, they're kind of just playing like hip hop or top 40 or at the time too, like EDM was really popular, but there was no spot where you could go and like actually have a good time listening to music that you liked, because it shows in LA, everybody just comes and acts like they're way too cool to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of wanted to go against the grain of like everything that was happening in LA. Like we wanted to create a space that was like just super inviting and inclusive and no VIP, nothing like that.
Yeah.
We originally just plugged in an iPad at a bar in Echo Park. Morgan knew the bartender there, and he convinced this guy to let us take over the music on a Tuesday night. And we made like a. We made.
Oh God.
That's a different story.
We'll get to that.
We'll go back to that.
Yeah. And then so we did it on that first Tuesday. We didn't really make we didn't have a social media presence for Emo Nite. It wasn't even called Emo Nite at that point. It was called Taking Back Tuesday. And it was just supposed to be kind of like a fun little hangout at this small bar in Echo Park. And we made a Facebook event and invited a bunch of our friends, and like 100 people showed up and 50 people couldn't get in. And it was a rainy night. And we were just like, holy crap, like this is insane. This is way bigger than we ever expected it to be. So we did one more at this bar called The Shortstop, and it was even worse. And we were like, what do we do? There's 200 people outside that can't get in. So we went down the street and we bought Little Caesars for everybody and passed it out in line. And we were like, I'm sorry, I don't know we if you can get in tonight, but here's some pizza. And then we were like, okay, we got to find a different venue. So we moved down the street to the Echoplex. And at that point we were like, this is just insane. Like, let's see how crazy we can make this. Like, let's start reaching out to some artists and bands that we like. I think I saw the guys from 303 at our last party. I think I saw the Buddy from Senses Fail just like hanging out. And then, let's just fucking reach out to some people. And we sent a few emails, and we're actually trying to get a totally different artist. But one of these agents got back to us, and they were like, hey, I don't know if they're available, but you know who would love this is Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Oh my God. Oh, just Mark Hoppus. It's fine.
You know who this reminds me of. Jesus.
Okay, yeah, this is great. Sure, we'll have Mark Hoppus.
We were like, no, yeah, that's okay. That's cool. That's cool. I think we were trying to get like Tyson, right? We were trying to get Tyson from the All American Rejects, and they're like, not around. But
Casual.
I guess at that point, though, maybe Blink didn't have the same following as they do. I mean, because Blink-182 has always been Blink-182, but like at that point where they are now, maybe
it was right when Matt had stepped into the band, and I don't know. I mean, they were still pretty big and headlining a lot of festivals and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like since we started Emo Nite to now, I don't know if they wouldn't have been
as willing.
They wouldn't have been headlining Coachella this year, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
They wouldn't have been headlining Coachella in 2015 or 20.
Yeah, that was their like little in between time, like you said, with Matt and that album and stuff. But now they're coming back. I'm seeing them on Sunday, guys. So
I honestly liked that album, and like I don't know, like I liked it. I thought it was a really good album. I think
there was too much hate for Skippa, like too much hate. like
I am just a Blink fan, and I'm an Alkaline Trio fan, and I feel like they could. I don't think that there was anybody else that they could have gotten that could have done that as good as he did it. Is like I think that they made the right choice. I don't know. I can't think of another person that would maybe have been able to fit those shoes. I don't think anybody could, but I feel like that was like if they had to, that felt okay.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like Blink, but it felt okay.
I think I saw them for the first time actually with him back in Columbus, Ohio, and I was like completely unaware that like anyone had been removed or like put back in. So I was just like, yeah, Blink-182, this is really good. Like, this is a really good time.
Yeah, I remember seeing, we went and did the East Coast Warp Tour, and I remember seeing pictures of Matt like reading the lyrics on the little monitor in front of it. I'm like, how the fuck do you not know every single Blink lyric in general? Like everybody does, like just in general, like you should know all of these songs.
Yeah, but they still use that now. Like at Coachella, like Tom posted a picture of his teleprompter. I know,
which is crazy to me. Like everybody should just know the words to the songs. They should take those away from Tom.
I guess so. Kind of coming from that and coming from like a smaller venue now, and then to where you are today. I mean, that's an insane amount of growth in a really short amount of time.
Not just a small venue, a small literal shithole venue. Don't forget that.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it like the growth has been, so I think I went to your first like Emo Nite day.
Which,
2017.
by the way,
you
what
can
a
correct me if
stupid
you're
name.
Wrong.
Like, can we just pause really quick? Just, like, think about how dumb that is.
Emo Nite day.
Like, I think, when we
a twilight, if you will.
When we started to do it, we were just like, how do we have fun with our jobs? And it's stuff like that makes TJ and I laugh really hard. Like, it's like that, it shouldn't be as stupid and as funny as it is, but it is. Like, and those are the things that like really make, I think, are like why the company has grown the way it's grown, is because we get to do stuff like call a festival Emo Nite Day. And then when we, when we do another one and it goes into nighttime, we'll call it Emo Nite Day Night.
Get away with it. So I think that was 2017. So I think that was your first one of those. Mm-hmm. And then, so you guys moved to Shrine, which I know Haley and Amanda and E won't know, but obviously bigger than the Echoplex. And then you guys just went from like that going across the entire country. And then the pandemic hit and you guys were lined up to do Coachella, but you guys did all these live streams that were so successful.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I feel like somehow Emo Nite grew even more over COVID. We pretty much immediately were like, all right, how do we make sure everybody's okay? I feel like the biggest part of what makes Emo Nite special, I think, is like the friendships and the relationships that everybody has formed.
The community that you all share.
Yeah, and like people have, met their wives, myself included. They've met their roommates, their friends. They've had kids with people that they've met at Emo Nite. Like we've had dozens of proposals at this point. It's like, it's a really tight-knit community. And so we were like, how do we make sure everybody's okay? So we started out on this platform called Jukebox, which was like a group Spotify listening platform. So you could go onto this site and everybody would log into Spotify at the same time. And it was just like a big chat room. And then, a couple people would have the controls of the DJ playlist. And that was what we did like for the first month. And then we're like, all right, how do we step this up? It was almost a similar pattern to like our parties before. Like, how do we step this up and take it to the next level? So we moved over to Twitch. And we started reaching out to all these artists who weren't able to play shows and getting them to record videos or Skype in or Zoom in and play, trivia games with people from the Emo Nite community. And then everybody would get on Zoom together and watch the stream on Twitch. And, you couldn't talk to each other, but just like being able to see all these squares of, 25, 30 other people's faces, like made you feel a little less alone. And all those people ended up joining like our Discord and becoming friends just like across the country. And by the time we got out of COVID, we were like, all right, how do we get everybody together in one spot? And that's when we did probably the biggest thing that we've ever done, which was Emo Nite Vegas Vacation. which was a 3-day trip to Vegas. Everybody flew in. We had pool parties, concerts. It was headlined by MGK and Avril, and we had sets from like Mayday and Sleeping with Sirens, and it was just
that
a
sounds
really
like such a
fun
blast.
weekend. It was great.
Yeah, we didn't know Avril was going to play until literally like that day. We had no idea until somebody texted us and they're like, we heard her sound checking. We thought she was just going to come and like DJ a couple songs. Yeah, we had no idea.
She was like, "Yes, I will play for you guys," and you were like, "That's fine."
I think we saw that it was like
no complaints,
like cool and fun. You know, I thought it.
Yeah,
I saw what it was. I feel like it's hard to explain what these things are, and then once you see it, you're like, I get it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
But that was a really cool moment because like all these people who had only met online got to meet together in person for the first time, and it was a very emotional weekend.
Yes. Was that, what year was that at that point? Because
that was October 2021.
Okay. So that was like right after we were all kind of getting out of stuff. So that must have been wild.
Yeah. And like right after that too, or right before that, we tried to do our first emo night back at the Echoplex, and we just tried to do it the same way that we had always done it. And like, it was a disaster. Like nobody could get in because everybody had been pent up for so long. They were like, I'm absolutely going to the first one back. And I think there were thousands of people that couldn't get in.
Yeah. Because it was like, the restrictions were so gnarly back then.
Yeah. At that point too, the Echoplex was like, we have to stay strictly at capacity. Like in years prior, they'd be like, we could, squeeze in 200 more or whatever. But like right after COVID, they were like,
nope.
And so many people got turned away. Nobody wanted to leave either. That's how a lot of people go. Like we used to, people would wait outside in line, and as people would leave, we'd let more people in. And nobody wanted to leave because it was their first like outing. So that was also a sign that we had to leave the Echoplex because it just wasn't, it didn't fit us anymore. And we tried to do like production, like we would bring in like an LED wall. We tried to bring in cryo, and the cryo tanks would get knocked over and like almost explode. And it was, we physically, we literally hit a ceiling there and metaphorically hit a ceiling there. And we had to move venues now. So our main one in LA is now at the Avalon.
Yeah, I was explaining to E
I need to get out to LA. I need to see these venues.
You do. I was explaining to E just like the lines, how like, like when I first would go, it would be like, okay, you'd wait in a line, but you'd still get in. And then you guys kind of had to move to like, no, you have to buy a ticket to like even get in. You're still waiting in a line, type of stuff. And the line just around the Echoplex around up the street was like crazy all the time. And just like doing that, it's just like crazy to see you guys grow. And now like as a brand, you guys have grown to like, you have a podcast and Morgan has the radio show and you guys do tours across the entire country. E and me were just at the one that she was DJing at in Boston a few weeks ago. So that's so cool. So how do you guys handle like...
It looked great, by the way.
It was very fun.
Yeah,
very good time.
That venue in Boston's a good venue. It's right next to the Garden where the Celtics and Bruins play. So, yeah.
So you guys grew substantially, and then you are now, so we're recording this on May 16th. You guys are playing EDC Las Vegas on Friday.
It's actually our second EDC. We did one in, yeah, we did it in 2021. A week after Vegas vacation. I remember we had just gotten to the hotel room and I got a call from Keizo's manager and he was like, we're doing this art car. Do you guys want to come do EDC?
Were you at the art car at EDC?
Yeah. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
This year it'll be really, really fun. It was so insane last time.
I don't think we've ever I've said this before, but like I started to take a picture like at EDC, and then I was like, there's too much stuff to look at, and I ended up taking no pictures because it was just too much to look at. Like
EDC, there's a lot going on at EDC Las Vegas. Like it is very overwhelming.
I just took it all in. It was like the first festival I've ever been to where I was like, I have no no photo evidence that I was there on my phone because it was like so fucking sick.
Where are you guys playing this Friday? Like, I'm assuming it's not the art car this time.
No, it is. So there's several art cars. We're on the Titanic's End art car. And this year we got to kind of curate it. So it's like, it is like an Emo Nite takeover of this art car throughout the night.
That's amazing.
We're playing at 3 a.m.
The last time we were just on an art car, and now it's like we curated the art car.
I guess kind of for anyone listening that doesn't know what EDC Las Vegas is, it's a huge EDM festival in Las Vegas at the Raceway. And it's primarily EDM, but like there are obviously some other artists that are there, and it's also an art festival, really. And so they have a bunch of different areas that you can go to, and they're all typically themed. And like there was one that was like Mad Max themed last year, and then there was like a flower garden, and it's just like there's no real words to describe EDC Las Vegas because it's just on a whole different spectrum of
it makes Coachella look like tiny, like
so small. Yeah.
Speaking of Vegas, so like obviously you guys did the residency at the When We Were Young, and me and E were over there. The day we lucked out and our tickets were for Sunday, so we actually got to go to the festival. But the Saturday show that got canceled, I mean, you guys pulled off a lot.
Swooped in.
You guys swooped in and did. I mean, a lot of bands were, but you guys, because you guys had like your little bar set up and stuff. So how was that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really change a lot. Like that was kind of our plan the whole weekend. You know, we had our restaurant that we took over with like a merch booth, and that was supposed to be like Emo Nite HQ. Come grab a drink before the festival, and maybe grab a t-shirt and then go. Like it's Resorts World's walking distance to the festival grounds. So that was kind of like the plan all along, to do that HQ area and to do the shows on Friday and Saturday. Not a lot changed. We were really trying, I think, to do something else, but the reality of the situation like really kind of set in, I think, in the afternoon of that day. I was on the phone the whole day just like trying to rent a sound system or like trying to put together some sort of concert. But I realized like if we put any live band on that stage in Resorts World, in that little restaurant, like it would be an absolute like
chaotic
hazard riot immediately. So we figured it was best to just like keep the vibes going, keep the music going, and maybe try and add a few artists to our set that night at Zook. And so that was cool. We got to add in like Derek and Ben from Neck Deep, and the other acts that we had that night. I don't even remember because we've done a few Zooks at this point.
I know. I'm like, we were there that night. I can't remember you there.
Yeah,
those $25 drinks were getting to me. Okay.
Yeah.
That one was fucking wild. We turned it into the restaurant. We turned it into a Spirit Halloween store.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But like you said,
I have the Spirit Halloween shirt. That's amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But like you said, like, I mean, it wasn't like a huge space. And I think that's like, I know for us, because E was at like staying at the Strat where like Hawthorne Heights played in the casino,
which was chaotic, and they shut the casino down. I've never seen that happen before.
She kept texting me. She's like, "Do you want to come over here?" And I'm just like anxiety ridden, and I'm like, "No, that is way too like." I'm like, "That is too many people in one spot." Because it's the same thing. I knew like every like pop up that started happening, I was like, it's gonna immediately be like chaos. Yeah. Which I mean, they like I know All American Rejects like put on like a good show, and they did some of the venues outside of the hotels.
Well, I think that was the same. It was like the same sort of thing as like the pandemic. Like we just wanted to like we're like, oh shit, everybody's bummed. Well, how do we make the best out of the situation for everybody?
I was on the phone that morning though with Pasquale, and he was like, "We can do something at the Raceway tonight." Like, we can go till like 5 a.m. if you want. And I had to be like,
right.
I was like, you know, the bands still like have to play tomorrow, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to get anybody to come play.
So that's the other thing that I was going to mention about EDC Las Vegas is that people don't necessarily understand that like it starts at 11 p.m. and it goes until 7 a.m. and that's like on a good day. So like that is very on brand for Pascal. Like that, that would have been a vibe though.
Yeah.
I was even struggling after your guys' set on Saturday to make it to the festival the next day. I'm like, because we stayed until the end of you guys.
I forgot.
You guys didn't go on until like 1 or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a lot.
Was it later than that?
Look, we're like, you know, this is like our first time being DJs, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
Like what? They're like, no, this is like normal time. Like that's like prime slot.
They're like, that's prime time. You got to go at 1.
I'm like, I'm
buddy,
30. I can't do this anymore.
Buddy,
yeah. Emo nights usually end at like 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great though.
You've done all these shows. Do you have, or are you willing to say who your kind of favorite artist has been or favorite performance that you've kind of had happen at Emo Nite before?
Oh, yeah. I think we can run through our highlights. I mean, I'll always remember Dashboard Confessional Year 1, like our 1-year anniversary, Chris Carrabba acoustic on the stage, like surrounded by everybody. You know, it felt like the TRL acoustic session, but happening in real life. That was really sick.
I mean, like Chris Connolly from Saves the Day, like showing up and like Gabe Supporta's drunk ass like he was like, I'm not gonna go on stage, and then he got wasted and screaming every song that he was playing.
He had a tambourine. I don't even know where he got the tambourine, but Gabe was like playing tambourine for Chris.
He was like the needs more cowbell guy, but he has a tambourine just going insane.
Like I was like, I mean, and like I told my sister that day, I was like, guess who's coming? And I was like, all we listened to, like, it was like one of our favorite favorite albums. And he like FaceTimed my sister before we went on, and it's like that meant a lot. It like really meant a lot to me. We've had so many good performances, but that one really sticks out.
From first to last, Reunion, which was unbelievable.
Sunny?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a total surprise, unannounced moment that we had in like 2017. All of a sudden we were like, okay, everybody get off the stage. Yeah. And then we pulled a blanket off of a drum kit, and lights all went red, and Sunny came out, and note to self right there.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
I would have lost my shit.
Yep. No, I was at that one. That was sick.
Post Malone coming through was really sick.
We were talking about Post Malone being a scene kid in our episode that's not posted yet, but in our last episode that we recorded, we went on about how Post Malone should just put out another hardcore album. And
he should. He announced his album today, and it's not going to be seen. But one day, it should be. Well, I mean, we don't know, but
you know, that's kind of been one of the things that we've tried to, you know, keep to the values of Emo Nite. Like a lot of people would be like, oh, Post Malone, he's not emo, he doesn't make emo music, why is he at Emo Nite? And like Demi Lovato, oh, fuck that, she's a pop star. And you know, I think for us, it's always been like, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're actually making now, or even what you're doing with your job. I mean, especially in LA, everybody our age is like we're working in the creative industry, and we all went through or are still going through like an emo moment where it impacted us and influenced us and made us who we are. And you know, whether you're like Chainsmokers or Demi Lovato or Post Malone or, you know, Mark Hoppus, like it doesn't matter to us as long as you share the same love and respect for the genre that we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, we've had like
as it should be
come through, and you know, like people are like, why the fuck are they there? And they like, you know, they're people that have been coming since day one, and they're like, dude, we just really love, like, we grew up listening to this stuff, we just wanted to do this. And they're like, it's wild, you know, like that shit is cool because it's like people you never thought that would
The girls from Vanderpump Rules last month.
I was just thinking that.
They've been coming to Emo Nite since like 2017. Yeah.
One of my questions for you, TJ, was going to be a Vanderpump question. So
I imagine having stuff like primarily out of LA too. Like you get a lot of people that you might not typically see come through, just because it is such a saturated community there.
Yeah, I mean, there have been people that like I've been starstruck by, like just walking through the crowd, like just being in the crowd.
That's amazing. I'm like so now I'm like, oh, Brienne, I really, really have to go out there. Like I really have to experience it, like from the actual standpoint of LA.
One of the things I wanted to touch on too was like when you guys were at the Echoplex, you guys also had a lot of like local bands performing upstairs. Did you guys set those up, or was that like Echoplex already setting those up?
So we decided that we wanted to give a platform for artists that we really liked in like the live music space. You know, maybe their shows wouldn't sell out, and we wanted to give them, you know, a sold out crowd, because we were like, we believe in these bands. We really, really want to push their music. You know, we want to hear new music, as well as all the stuff that we play downstairs at on the stage. And those bands went on, like a lot of them went on to do really, really big things. Like, what was it? Like Movements was one of their first ones up there. Who else was up there, TJ?
Youngblood. His first US show was up at the Echo.
Oh wow!
It's been really like important, I think, for us, because it would have been very easy, I think, at the beginning to just go and lean into the nostalgia factor of it all. And I think there's a lot of like emo events that do that, but we've always tried to go like one step beyond it and, you know, make the parties like something that you want to go to tonight. Like it's the coolest thing that you can go to tonight in 2023, not like, oh, I'm going to go like relive my youth. And yeah, I think in order for us to keep growing and for the scene to keep thriving, like giving, you know, younger bands a place to perform in front of a captive audience is super important. So a lot of our bigger events now across the country, we've added second rooms where we can have live bands. So we have live bands in Dallas, in Orlando, in Atlanta. We're working on adding a second room to Seattle and Milwaukee. And it's really fun because we get to spotlight all these great bands in these different scenes across the coury.
Yeah, one of Revival's
Kevin
band,
Lyman said
Out of Time.
Kevin Lyman
did
said a what?
Sorry,
what?
No, it's okay. I was saying one of our bands from Revival did Out of Time was at one of the Orlando ones.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're a good band.
Yeah,
they are a good band.
So
they are a good band.
They were one of the first ones that I booked, I think, for Orlando.
Yeah, and they're so nice. They're such nice dudes.
I never went to college, and like me and TJ went and taught a college class, like Kevin Lyman's college class, and he said something really smart, and I'll never get the quote right, but it was like, you know, you have to give as much as you take from something like that to make, like, I don't know what the quote is. TJ, do you remember what it was? But it was that like really resonated with me.
I think he was explaining, like, you know, he had obviously a very successful company that pioneered the punk rock scene.
Yeah,
it was only slightly successful.
He was talking about some of the more entrepreneurial guys in the punk rock scene, like Fat Mike, and people who have started labels. And he's like, it's okay. It's sort of like in the punk rock ethos, like it's okay to make a good living off of punk rock music as long as you're giving as much as you're taking from the scene.
Ooh, that's a good way of looking at stuff.
That I thought that was just really smart. I thought that was a really smart thing to say, because it's like, we do love this music. We do want to live off of doing the things that we really, really like, but we also want to give back as much as we can. And it just, that like really made sense to me, especially, you know, it's like, you do have like really like purist people that are like, we don't want to, you know, you can't make money off of this stuff. And it's like, you can, but you can also like put into it. You can also like give back to the scene and like create new artists and create new things. And I think that's like, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Aww.
I think we as like a smaller label appreciate like those opportunities for our bands because we're always pushing and we're like, we see the potential in these bands that are smaller that are in the scene that deserve like the recognition. So that getting that platform for them and like I think is important. Speaking of record labels, you guys still have plans to open one?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we have some offers out right now. We have some really good acts that we're excited about. And we should be announcing a lot of really exciting stuff here in the next couple months.
Yay.
That's
which
awesome.
we could talk about off the podcast a little bit.
and when it gets announced, we can have you back to talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. When it gets announced, we'll come back.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's like crazy. Just like we keep talking about the growth that you guys started with an iPad, and now you're going to be putting these bands and new bands out. So
Courtney and I were talking about the set that I had done earlier at the one in Boston. And I was saying to her, my go-to song is always Mr. Brightside to get the crowd pumped up, because I just feel like, having X amount of people singing that back to you can just be such a cathartic experience. So my question to you guys is kind of, what is your go-to song that you know is going to like get everyone super pumped?
That's not My Chem.
That's not My Chem.
I know that's the number one answer, but we'll do a second hype up.
I Pierce
King
for a day.
Oh yeah,
that's fair. That is solid.
Downfall of Us All, Day to Remember. That one always goes.
Ooh, okay.
It gets the people
that is a
going.
Good one.
But I will always remember playing Mr. Brightside at Coachella, and the Sahara tent, the Sahara tent
God.
just like exploding. It was so cool.
It was so.
It was just so cool to even just to see the people in Boston singing back to that too. I was like, I have never felt anyone like it. It was such a weird feeling, because it was like you were feeling everyone else's feelings at the same time, and it was just it is indescribable. It was really fun.
That's what it's like being the best DJs in the world.
Well, all right, yeah. I mean, we went through all my topics, and I know
we did.
I know me and E are more familiar with you guys, and like we've been to shows, and E helps DJ sometimes.
I met TJ in like 2011 or 2010 back in.
We did.
She pulled up the picture. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the video. Don't worry.
Let's go.
It's like
embarrassing scene
photo.
Kids. Yes.
This is what I'm doing
like...
tonight, by the way. I'm going to the Scratch DJ Academy. I figure after 9 years, I should probably learn how to actually DJ. And
DJ
probably 3 days before EDC is like a good time to do it.
Figure out how to do it.
Nice.
Definitely.
That's
time.
fine.
But Haley and Amanda, do you guys have any questions that you've thought of while we're chatting?
I'm just thinking. I've never been to an emo night, so
we're changing that.
Yeah, I've never been to an official emo night myself.
Don't give me the look now. I have a kid. I cannot be going out 1 o'clock in the morning.
I have a cat. That's my excuse.
No, that doesn't count.
Throw some like noise reduction headphones on Luann and bring her. Okay.
Oh yeah,
he's right behind me.
We did have Doug the Pug DJ one time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something about that. Isn't Doug the Pug's owner like an emo kid, essentially?
Yeah. He's in the band. I think he's in like We Are the In crowd or something.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
Take a deep dive into it after this. He's doing something.
We need to get an emo night in Raleigh, somewhere that I can actually go.
We just announced one today, I think.
Raleigh.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I will have to look at that.
All of you are gonna have to be there.
Let's see, where is it? When is it?
While you look, one of the other things I was thinking of is like you guys creating Emo Nite has opened like so many other doors for you guys. Like Morgan, you've produced or directed, whatever the word is, like a state champs video and things like that. Like what's that like? Like you guys just sit there and have all these.
It's 2 days before my birthday. Sorry.
It's your birthday
July
party.
15th.
Yes.
Nice.
And I will.
Be on tour.
No, I'll be home.
I think
Oh,
I'll be
there
home.
you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
we're
you
all
guys
going
gotta
for my
go.
birthday now.
You
It's
have
birthday
it,
Emo
Morgan.
Nite
We're
time.
flying out.
Where in Raleigh?
The Ritz.
It's been awesome. I mean, we just like got to be friends with all these artists. So
Yeah.
I mean, TJ and I have done stuff in the creative industry for a while. So to be able to, like, be able to create shit with these artists that we really, really like is awesome. Like, I mean, it's fucking amazing. I told TJ about something right before we got on this call. I was like, holy shit, this is like a dream come true thing for me. Yeah. And I mean, it's just because I think it's because we give a shit, I think like we really do give a shit. It's not like like TJ was saying before, we're not just doing like throwing an 80s night. You know what I mean? We're not just doing that. We're doing this because I didn't think growing up that the music that I was listening to would give me a career. I just thought that I was doing what I wanted to do with my friends. And I feel like a perpetual teenager every single day because I get to do what I do. And I didn't realize that I get to do it with everybody that I like to do shit with. It was just
That's
like,
really beautiful.
And we've had opportunities and been approached by people who are like, hey, I want you to, manage like my Taylor Swift night or like my Shrek night. And
Shrek night.
yeah, Shrek Raves. You haven't heard Shrek Raves yet?
I know. How dare you not think I haven't heard of Shrek Rave first?
But I mean, that stuff's cool and that stuff's fun. But like for us, I think like it kind of becomes a job at that point. Like it's literally just like, how do you sell tickets? And never once in our entire Emo Nite journey have I been like, all right, like how are we gonna fucking sell more tickets than we did last month?
No. Yeah. No, I like that like mentality because I feel like us like working in a smaller label, we kind of have that. We're passionate about this music, and I think especially the genre itself, like all of us, it's just such like a cathartic place to like be able to work within this music. I feel like
there's something different about this genre than there is about any other genre, right? Like for some reason there is. Like it's not. It's not.
I think the community just, I feel, in my personal humble opinion, is I think we all just kind of feel the music differently than you typically would another genre. And maybe that's ignorant of me, but like I just feel like, I go to an Emo Nite and I'm like, I'm there with people that have shared experiences, that have shared tastes in music, that I know that I'm going to get along with, even if I don't know them. And so it's just kind of like you go into it knowing that you're there in a place of like love and community, and it's tacky, but like that, I mean, saying, like, hey, like it's like a place of love is tacky, but like it is.
No, but it totally is. Yeah.
It totally is.
I feel like we gave, I don't know, like in a small way, I feel like we gave a place for people that were a little bit of an outcast growing up to come together and not be that, like not feel like an outcast. And also the people that like weren't outcast to be like, oh yeah, I secretly liked this. And now it's like a thing that they,
now it's cool.
Now it's like a cool thing.
It's my guilty pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, we had our last episode that we just recorded was all about like mental health and music, and it's just like the genre itself. I feel like we all relate like to it, and that's why the community is like as tight knit as it is, and has formed and resurged the way it has, because it kind of had its lull, but coming back stronger than ever.
For sure.
But
on that
note, before we get into songs of the week, I need to know, TJ, are Tom and Raquel endgame? What's your opinion? Are they gonna last? Because I think that's the only outcome that should be happening. Otherwise, they just blew everything up for
that was
everything.
the other girls.
Well,
she has to know.
But TJ's a big Vanderpump fan.
Yeah, I've met Tom a handful of times. I hadn't like run into him post Scandival.
Yeah.
Scandival.
I would hope so. Like, I feel like they've ruined their entire lives and their friendships and everything. So like, I hope that they make it worth it for themselves and you know, prove to everybody that it was worth it.
Dude, that
Is
reunion.
That the guy who blocked you?
Yeah, Tom
He blocked
Sandoval,
you?
the most. They blocked everybody who worked
Oh,
at
the
Emo
band,
Nite.
yeah.
Like, the band.
The band page, like
man.
his cover band page, I guess, went on like a rampage of blocking anybody that had like anything, not even like negative, just anything.
They blocked like all of our reps, like people who like they had to dig. Like they found our girl who works in like Portland, Oregon, and blocked her. They like people who aren't even on our social media page that do our parties. They found them and blocked them.
They literally just looked up like Emo Nite and then like just blocked people. Like that's insane.
But it wasn't even like Emo Nite. They did like, they blocked like all the Bravo like fan sites. They blocked like, because it was like
It's a level of petty for me.
the band page. Yeah, it's cool.
Respect.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how the reunion goes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway.
Back to
All right. So we do our song of the week. Have you come prepared with a song of the week? Okay. Morgan, you're shaking your head. Okay, Morgan can go first.
Okay. I've for some reason been re-listening to What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis. It's not like and the fuck is that goddamn song called? It's seriously so good. Don't Look Back in Anger is my song of the week.
Nice.
Okay.
That's
good.
That is a great song.
I'm gonna go with "Nosebleed" by Sophie Powers. We just had her play at Emo Nite last month, and she was so good. And then I didn't even know this, but in the middle of the set, she's like, "I'm 18, so I'm gonna get kicked out after this." Like, oh my gosh, like, how are you that young? I was like thinking about it, and so she was literally like 8 or 9 years old when Emo Nite started.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't you
God,
feel
that's
old
terrifying.
now? I mean, don't feel
Wild.
old, man.
You know,
I am her dad.
feeling old.
Yeah, so you could be her dad.
I could be her grandfather probably.
Oh my.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Gotta do the math in my head for that one. I don't know.
She's grounded is the thing.
18 and you know, out on a school night probably. Damn.
No, it was a Friday, so
Friday.
No, at least there's that.
I'll go, and I'm doing "Among the Wildflowers" by The Hotelier. I think that's how you say it.
I love that band.
I love that song, and I've just been re-listening to it a lot, like the past 2 weeks. So,
Are they doing stuff, or they stopped doing stuff?
I
or
don't
what are they doing?
think they are.
By
I
the
think
way,
it's been a couple years.
I need Turnover to go back in time. Is like I need that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or that has to happen. They put out like one of the best albums, and then they're like, "We're gonna put out a lot of bad ones."
That does happen.
How do you really feel?
Exactly.
I think the one that they did, Still in Motion, after I think that there's a couple of good songs on that. And then I saw them live, and I really liked them a lot. And I was like, come on, guys.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
All right, Haley, what's yours?
I'm gonna go with "The Truth About Heaven" by Armor for Sleep. I've been listening to.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I've just,
All right.
it's too much.
Well, Mine is off the new Hot Mulligan record that came out on May 12th, I think. I'll probably talk about it in the intro that we've yet to record, but it's called No Shoes in the Coffee Shop, and it's a good song. So,
I love an interesting title.
I know, they always do that with their titles.
Their titles crack me up. I got really sad halfway through listening to the record and haven't listened to the whole thing yet because I got to the song about the pet dying and then couldn't keep going.
No. Oh yeah. I skipped that pup song. I skipped that one pup song. It's a good song. It's like an awesome song, but I skipped that one. I think the president of music, Lil Aaron, produced a lot of those songs on that album.
That's awesome. It's a really sick record so far, and when I'm not as tired and cranky, I will finish the rest of it. But
more like I can't watch like a dead pet any or listen to a dead pet song.
We literally had this conversation before.
The freaking Louis Capaldi new music video was any.
Will not watch it.
Watch
I have not.
Won't
do it.
Don't. No.
I literally was like, who okayed this idea?
Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me.
Yeah, don't watch it if you're.
Don't even tell me.
It's sad. It's sad. Don't watch it.
Anyway.
Bring us home. Or bring us home.
Bring us home.
I am always the wild card in this.
Always.
So mine is because we all know that I am a closeted country fan. She Had Me at Heads, Carolina by Cole Swindle.
Yes.
That's mine.
There you go.
Well,
That's a cover song, though.
Closeted country.
It is.
Yes.
By Jody Messina.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the OG.
I didn't know the original song that it was based off of, and then I listened to it and I was like, wait, like maybe I do want to do this at karaoke. Like I should probably learn how to do this, and then I'm gonna live this song and it's gonna be really nice.
Love it.
Everybody needs a good go-to karaoke song, okay? So
Absolutely.
Mr. Brightside just slaps. I'm just saying, like in any scenario, it's gonna be my go-to.
You and
Okay,
Mr.
sorry, anyway. Me and Mr. Brightside I have a personal connection, okay? Anyway.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode, and maybe we'll have you on a future one when new things get announced. We're excited. Revival has partnered with one of Emo Nite's co-workers. What is Caro's job title?
Caro is the director of operations. She's
we
running shit.
We had a collab with her candle company, so go buy some candles from her. Go check out the radio show on Thursdays, right, Morgan? Is that it?
Thursday
on AMP.
Emo Nite Radio, Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. PST.
You guys still have your podcast going too?
We do, but it is on Patreon, so Patreon only, and that's also where you'll get access to buy Emo Nite tickets before anybody else, and you'll get access to monthly vlogs and then other silly content that we don't post on socials.
Awesome.
Nice.
Anything else to plug except the usual Emo Nights? Now they're all across the country, so everybody should go to the one that's local to them. Constantly.
Yep, emonite.com. It's emonite.com.
Yes. Find Grave Boy, and then you will find it.
Find Grave Boy.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. It was great having you.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast. New episodes are released every other Monday.